3, 2, 1.
What is going on, Southwest? It's your man, Brandon Medina. Welcome back to another special edition of Scoreboard, your SWISD podcast, following all SWISD athletics and our incredible athletes here in the district. We have the man, the myth. I would not say a legend, but he's working on it. You know what I mean? He's working on it, Mr. Peter Wagner.
But you call yourself a legend.
Listen.
All right, yeah.
I have a brick at the stadium, you know what I mean? That was paid for, but there's a brick nonetheless.
That's the worst because it's paid for by your mom.
That's what I'm saying.
You
so
know it was.
There's a brick there.
Shout out Carla Medina.
Shout out Carla. Yeah,
she's a Hall of Famer.
Hall of Famer.
Hall of Famer.
Absolutely.
Booster Club Hall of Fame.
But we do have Mr. Peter Wagner, your athletic director here at SWISD. This is going to be a fun episode. Lots of recognitions going out. We want to talk a little bit. Of course, we'll talk about basketball and soccer out the gate, like we always do. It's basketball and soccer season. And I know we're going into district with soccer, but we want to give a few shout-outs to some of our swimmers, divers, some of our Dragon Warriors, and talk about the Dragon Warrior program. So it's going to be...
Sir, it's the SWISD Warrior program.
SWISD.
Your unconscious bias is coming through right now. You're going to slow your roll, buddy.
SWISD.
Everybody's a warrior.
Warrior program. We'll be hitting on a lot of different facets and then also some middle school recognitions and shout-outs as well. So let's get into it. Lots to get into for this episode, but we'll talk right now basketball and soccer. So soccer season, we're going into the district.
They start counting now. And I think I was talking to our coaches and Trainer Henson and stuff about soccer and big race, obviously the Dragons. But if you talk to a lot of people who know about our district, you're looking at a soccer season that's going to look like the Dragons, the Titans. Harlandale is rolling right now, playing some tough teams really close. So there's one. Medina Valley's always going to be a tough one. And it looks like, you never know what you're going to get out of McCollum and Southside and Eagle Pass win. So going to be an interesting race. And that's for both teams, really, for both girls and boys. It's going to be pretty interesting. I think the girls' race is going to be a lot more
tight.
Yeah, a lot tight across the board, where the boys probably have, Southwest would be the front runner, but see where the other three playoff spots come from.
Yeah, for sure. I think the girls' race is going to be a lot tighter. I know the boys, especially, Southwest Legacy starting to put together a few. They start out against McCollum Friday, and then Southwest High School, the Dragon boys will face Wynn and then Medina Valley, which we just talked about. So these are where the games start to really, really count, as you said. Looking at it overall, though, are you expecting to make a pretty deep run somewhere along the line of the playoffs, whether it's boys and girls, whichever campus, but expect one of these campuses to start shining pretty soon?
I mean, I think that after last year, all four making it, I would you don't want to put big expectations and more pressure on people, but I think that it's fair to say that those are the expectations we have for all four of those programs. A deep run, I think Southwest High School is kind of started making that like an expectation, kind of like our softball program was at one time, where it was like, if you lose in the first round, you're like, what are we doing right now? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So I think they've gotten to that point and who they play and how they schedule. And they had that Alexander win, and talking to a few people was a lot bigger than I knew it was, but that was kind of sent a little ripples throughout the world and stuff. So
yeah, and so going off of soccer, we have basketball. I know the boys basketball for Southwest is pretty standing pat, fourth in district right now, I believe, currently. And then you look at boys basketball over at Southwest and Legacy, and I think it's pretty similar too. It's a tell of the same story. Both are growing programs. Both have found their own struggles, found their own highs. As you continue in this district race and in the district playoffs, I think you want to stay competitive. On the girls and boys side for basketball, what do you think are the keys to make sure that these teams kind of stay competitive, even though they're in the middle of the pack of that playoff race? What's kind of if you're the coach of these teams, right, what's kind of your lesson to be learned? What are you saying to these children, not children, but to the student athletes to get going and to stay competitive?
Well, I mean, on the girls' side, we just got to keep building.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's pretty simple. We got to get down to the middle schools. We got to get them playing in the off season and things like that, and we'll get better. And those coaches are on top of that, and we'll get going. On the boys' side, we ain't. I mean, it's on like Donkey Kong between. It's a 5-6 team race. I mean, everybody's beating everybody right now. You can check Max Preps. You got Medina Valley lost to Eagle Pass win, and then Southwest had a barn burner against Wynn and lost on Friday. So you start with Southwest, and it's just a matter of, hey, we gotta pull ourselves up by our bootstraps, and everybody erase everything that's going on, and it's time to step up, step forward, and let's get moving forward. You know what I mean? Let's go get a W. And let's compete, because the fact of the matter is none of them are out. The top 2 teams are 6-2. You got Legacy at 5-3. You got Southwest at 4-4, but they got McCollum and Southside and Medina Valley all sitting around 3-5. So it's like it's anybody's game. It's a matter of who's going to step up and win the big games.
Yeah.
And so at Southwest, it's like, hey, we're in it. Stop crying. Let's move forward and go get it. You know, you got to choose how you respond. How you going to respond to this? At Legacy, they took a big loss to McCollum, and on Tuesday night, and same thing for them. They're more of a little more senior laden and stuff. Been playing together a little bit longer and stuff, but I think they're going to recover. But it's more a matter of same thing. You better get out there and get your butt down on defense and start making some shots, and big games, big calls how are you gonna choose to respond? And it's gonna be fun to watch. I mean, the Legacy Southwest game was cool. It was really good on Friday. Shout out to the crowd, a whole lot. It was intense, respectful, people really getting after it, but there wasn't a whole lot of yelling at the refs, yelling at the coaches. It was a matter of like good game. It's something that's fun and positive to be a part of, an intense game that people are just doing right all the way through the gym. You know what I mean? Right. So shout out to the crowd, to the coaches, and to the kids for that. But big games coming up, you know what I mean? Yep. And all the way through. All
righty. So with that, we'll kind of switch gears, and I'll kind of let you lead this now. So where do you want to go first? Do you want to start at that middle school level? Do you want to start at the Warrior program?
I want to start with the Warrior program because that's the base of what we do in our athletics program, building great kids that are going to become great adults. So
before we get into recognitions, can you give just a little bit of hindsight?
That's my plan. So our Warrior program goes through all 6 of our secondary schools, all 4 middle schools, both of our high schools. And what it is our kids compete through grades, through service projects, supporting other athletes and other programs in our spirit events. They have to take our character program is based through the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. So every 9 weeks we give them a test of 25 questions that they get 25 points for that go towards choosing to be a warrior. They get points for reading books on leadership if they want to, listening to podcasts, all that kind of stuff, how they can grow. So at the end of the day, when a kid leaves, we want a kid to be somebody who understands that their education is important. We're student-first athletes, right? So they get 25 points for being on the A honor roll. They get 15 points for being on the AB honor roll, but your job is to pass. And it's important that you show up and go to your job, right? So we give them 5 points for doing their job and being there for the team and being eligible. So they get 5 points for their grades. We do at least 3 spirit events where we go out and we're going to go to a basketball game, and we're getting better, but we're not great at it yet. But we want to change the culture to where when we go to a game, we choose to be an event, we're cheering like crazy. And you remember the old days when we had the student section at Southwest High School and stuff, and we moved and East Central moved their entire visiting bench to the other side because we were so loud and stuff. But we were respectful in doing it. That's what we want those spirit events to be. We also do one spirit event where we go cheer on somebody else. We've been to a choir concert. We went to the dance team recital at Southwest High School. We had about 100 athletes there cheering them on. We do one-act play, help with their dress rehearsals so they can go and compete and give them feedback and things like that. So we get points for that. We've done we do service projects. We did 2 Habitat for Humanity service projects. We helped Chief Palomo and the area SA and the San Antonio area first responders and their active shooter training stuff at Resnick over Christmas. So we want our kids to 3 things. Number 1, take care of their grades. Number 2, how do you serve? How do you give of your time to others and learn to do that and stuff? And then 3, how are you growing interpersonally? So we do growth challenges every Monday where we ask them questions to show them videos, things like that they respond to. They read. They have their 7 habits test. So they score in all these areas.
Gotcha.
At the high school level, we take each 9 weeks, we add those up. The last thing we want our kids to play as many sports as they want to. So we really want them to play. You get 4 years in high school, as you know, and that's it.
Yep.
So once it's over, it's over. So we want them to have as many experiences as they want, and our coaches take care of them. We don't say, choose this sport because that's the only way you're going to get better. We're trying to make them better, and you'll see that in some of these. But so we give them points. If you're a varsity athlete, you get 25 points for every letter you get.
Nice.
You get 15 and for the JV or the freshman level, and so you can do that. To be a Warrior, you have to score on every 9 weeks. For a 9-week Warrior, you get 55 points. That means you've met our expectations. That's what we generally expect a Southwest athlete to be, okay? And so that's 55. Now, everything you go over that is great. We add those up each 9 weeks. We do it for 3 9 weeks. We add those up. Then we add how many sports you play. If you got a couple of awards, but is what it is, we add that up, and that's your overall Warrior. What we call it,
Gotcha.
what we have is a wildly important goal of having 150 of our athletes at each high school and at least 50 at each middle school earn overall Warrior status. So to be an overall Warrior, you got to score at least 180 points over the course of the year.
Wow.
So today in high school, we add those up each year, and at the end of 4 years, then we take who scored the most points, and whoever scored the most points, once they get to their senior year, there's a $2,000 scholarship for
That's
them
awesome.
that we raise. Second place gets $1,500. Third place gets $1,000, and if we have other donations for it, then we continue to go on from there.
Gotcha.
Based on last year, I think we gave out 7 of them
Nice.
and stuff like that based on our Warrior program. And so we raise money for that. We do those things. This is not out of our school budget.
Right.
This is, we earn it. We raise that money. So each 9 weeks, I want to recognize these guys real quick. I got
Absolutely.
the top 5 at each high school and then the top 3 at each middle school. I'm just going to kind of give you where it is. Now, this is all kids, 9th grade through 12th grade. Doesn't matter. Girls, boys, doesn't matter what sport it is. So real quick, shout out to Sandy Hernandez because she really helps out with this, and a humongous shout out to Dale Lockett at our technology, curriculum instruction technology department because he makes this thing go with how we do our scoreboard and stuff, and all of our athletic coordinators for really making it roll with our kids. So let's start with the Titans, Titan Warriors. First place was Milagros or Miracle Robles Martinez. She's a football player. I said that. She's
Nice.
a football player, freshman football player, basketball player. She power lifts and runs track. She was an A honor roll. She scored in every service and spirit event but one, and she got 25 on her 7 habits test and did all but one of her growth challenges. Number 2 is a junior, Rayanne De La Rosa. She plays tennis. You'll see tennis. Coach Javier Gomez does an amazing job with them. You'll see 3 of tennis players on here. She's on the All-A honor roll, 25 on her 7 habits test, and she was a volunteer at the active shooter training. We gave a lot of points for that because they were there all day. Third place was 10th grader Savian Martinez. He's a water polo player, basketball player, and runs track. He was on the All-A honor roll, 25 on his 7 habits test, and scored on all of the service events but 2. Then we got a sophomore, Dante Cortez. He also plays tennis. Was also on the All-A honor roll, 25 on a 7 habits test. Volunteered for the active shooter training and all the other spirit and service events as well. He did a really good job there. And then finally in 5th was this 9 weeks. We do this every 9 weeks. Was a freshman, Isabella Trevino. She's a tennis player as well. All A's, volunteered in the active shooter training, got 24 out of 25 on her 7 habits test. So that is our mighty Titan Warriors.
Great job, man. So the
mean-
Titans, there's a lot of extracurriculars, whether it be the leadership stuff, whether it be the active training stuff, all of this as a whole. Do you see students who maybe graduate and come back and have kind of left that mark for the students in lower grade levels to kind of, want to be better since they're seeing seniors and juniors participating a little bit more?
Yeah, and it's building. You know what I mean? It's really a cultural change that we've been building for 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
And so it's really creating an identity that was never there.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That people aspire to be, and that's really where we're at and why it's important that I want to recognize them today. But they're starting to come back. The ones who have gotten scholarships, and we're starting to do more research at where they're at and stuff. But you're talking about, I think, our are 3 of them that are already going. We had multiple ones who have graduated.
Nice.
1 or 2 that are coming back to teach and help us. So we're starting to see some really good results from the people who are they're recognizing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're not that way because of the program. The program helps them to practice the habits that will help them get there later. And it's really not the high flyers. It's also the ones that were like, oh, no, I got this. You know what I mean? I can do it. I just got to practice these paradigms and these habits so I can be better.
Awesome. So that was the Titans, and then do we want to recognize the Dragons next?
Yeah, we got the Dragons next,
Okay.
and I'll try to go through it again real quick. So first place was 10th grader Monica Hernandez. She's a softball player. She's on the AB honor roll. She did 100% of her growth challenges, 25 on her 7 habits, and she read 2 books.
Wow.
As well as our softball team, shout out to them. They did a book study on mindset and what it means to be a good teammate and everything.
Cool.
So we give 15 points to teams who choose to do a book study together. And so the softball team chose to do that, so shout out to them. Number 2 was 10th grader Riley Milligan. You're going to see a brother-sister combo coming up, but Riley was an all-district water polo player. He's a JV basketball player, runs track, and plays golf.
Man.
And stuff.
Staying busy, Riley.
Yes, sir. And he's also in ROTC. He was at the
my
ROTC
goodness.
thing right after the basketball game the other day. So he's on the AB honor roll, did 100% of his growth challenges, 25 on his 7 habits test. He read Make Your Bed by Admiral McRaven and stuff, so he got points for that, and he participated in the Major Service Project this 9 weeks. Number 3 was his sister, senior Madison Milligan. She's an all-city, all-district volleyball player. She's going to St. Mary's to play volleyball.
Wow.
Girls basketball player, and she plays golf. The Milligans do it all. And so she's on the A honor roll. She did all but 1 growth challenge, did her 7 habits test. Also read Make Your Bed, and she participated in both the Habitat for Humanity Service Project and our other one with the active shooter. 4th place was softball player Angela Morales. She's on the A honor roll, 7 habits test. She read 2 books. She read John Gordon's Hard Hat as well as did the softball book study. So she was getting after it, and then she also did the Habitat for Humanity Service Project. And then finally, in 5th was with the Dragon Warriors is my man AJ Franco. He's a sophomore. He was on the A honor roll. He did all but 1 growth challenge. He got 25 on his 7 habits test, and he was at he was at every Spirit event, and then he was at the active shooter and the Habitat for Humanity Service Project. So the idea is to serve, to grow interpersonally, and do your job as a student, and be a good teammate and stuff like that. And then I'm going to roll through the top 3 at each middle school.
Go for it.
And I'm just going to say some names and recognize the top one. So at Resnick, we had Joe Arguello with 136 points, Emery Sanchez at 121, and Alani Dorner at 118. So these guys were really getting it and stuff at Resnick. Scobie was Shannon Bendeley, 78 points. She's an 8th grader. 7th grader Amaya Gonzalez at 78 points, and 8th grader Aiden Gutierrez at 76 points. At McAuliffe, we had 8th grader Sarah Del Rio at 74 points, 8th grader Abigail Elizalde at 74 points, 7th grader Ruby Martin at 70 points. So the girls at McAuliffe are getting it, so the boys need to step up, right? At McNair, the 7th grade, we had a 7th grader, Jahida Ramirez Peregrino, with 93 points. 7th grader Abigail Rendon, 91 points. And 7th grader Jaden Lee, 89 points. Looks like the 8th graders need to step up their game a little bit at McNair, right? And stuff. So those are all of our Warriors. Congratulations to them. Keep it up, y'all. We're celebrating. So everybody who earned Warrior status is eating. The kids get to choose at the middle school level what they want to eat and stuff.
Oh,
so we buy them. We get them some canes. That's what we do a lot. We do some fundraising to help them to do this stuff. But they're going to get some. I think most of them are choosing Canes. It's crazy how when you do it,
Canes
it's like,
is the number one choice.
It's Canes and Chick-fil-A, man. It's like all the time.
Kids
and
like
stuff.
chicken, man. I don't
And
know what to
then
tell you.
our high schoolers, Legacy, went to Incredible Pizza yesterday and celebrated. They had 165 Warriors. Southwest had 133 or something like that. Doing great things. And so they're going. Southwest High School is going to main event today for a couple of hours.
That's
do some
awesome.
bowling and do some stuff to celebrate their their choices. At the end of the day, this thing's all about everything they do here is within their circle of control.
Right.
So like when you put the basketball team, they then in their circle of control is preparing, is putting themselves in the best position. But a team goes 30 for 30 from the 3-point line.
It's tough to
you don't have
get
control over
that.
So us winning this game is 100% in our circle of control.
Yeah.
Our coaches can influence it, but our kids can choose to do it. And that's why this game's important. We win the game when we get 150 at each high school, and we're really going to celebrate the holy bejesus out of that when it happens.
So with the middle school level, Coach, how long has that been going as far as the Dragon
This is
or
really
the
our
Warrior program?
This is really our
I know,
second year.
that bias is shown a little, right? Yeah. That Warrior program.
I'm going to start throwing stuff
I
at
know.
you.
That Warrior program, how long has that been going for the middle school level specifically?
This is our second year, really.
Okay, so
and
it's
stuff,
still it's still really in the infant growing
Exactly.
phases.
So this whole thing is kind of like it's a sport, right?
Yeah.
But it's a sport of your choices.
Yeah.
And how you can grow as a person. And that's what we're trying to make it. And so it's kind of like football, basketball. You build your middle school program, and then you see what you can do at the high school level.
All righty. I love it, and I think starting at the middle school level, like you said, there's so many times we talk about sports and athletes who get started young or don't and are either playing ahead or playing from behind. And I think with this, it's good to start learning those practices because those practices are going to take you a long way after school's done in general. And then, like you said, you're seeing students who were in the Warrior program coming and graduating college to come back to help serve the community again. I mean, it's a beautiful cycle of Southwest ISD.
And it's a lot about what our community makes important, right? So we're trying to make the identity of being, at least in athletics, being a warrior the most important thing, because that's what's within our circle of control. And if we're great people who know how to work hard and grow, well, what's that going to do for us on the court, on the field, and everything else? We're going to be better because we're showing up to practice and we're being great teammates. And so we're trying to build that character. We talk about it being the infinite game. It's a game that never ends versus the game that when you're a senior, it's over for a lot of us, right? So that's what we're trying to build.
Love it. Well, I think next we have to recognize a few people from our first ever dive and swim meet at the Aquatic Center.
You want to go there?
Let's go for it.
All right. Let me flip to my notes here. So the first thing, we had our district. We talked about this real quick. It was like, oh, we forgot this, and then we got it in, right?
And there was a big one.
Yeah,
I mean, it's the first ever at the Aquatic Center dive and swimming meet. How did it go? Who stood out? Let's talk about it.
So let's talk about results. So we start with the girls because you should always start with the girls first. And so we have a new district, and our district is pretty tough only because of one real tough team, state champion type team, and their actual name is Bernie Champion. So Bernie Champion's in our swim district with Medina Valley, Legacy, Southwest, and Cast.
Yeah.
Those are our that's who was on our district. So team results from district coming from last weekend. In first place was Champion, second, and this is girls. Champion was first, Medina Valley was second, Legacy girls were third, and Southwest was fourth. We didn't have any Cast girl swimmers, so that's why there's only 4. In the boys division, Champion was first. Southwest came through and beat Medina Valley for second.
Wow,
that was big because that just shows you how much we've improved because our community made that Aquatic Center important and stuff. So Southwest was second, beat Medina Valley for third. Legacy was fourth, and Castem comes through with a 5th place finish and a regional qualifier for the first time. Castem on the map, man. So want to go through some the regional qualifiers real quick and stuff. So if that's all right. So great segue with Castem and the individuals. They have their first regional qualifier in just about any sport. It might be the first one in any sport now that I think about it. Zealand George got 3rd place in diving.
Nice.
So we have a diver, only the 3rd diver to go to regionals because we had another one in this thing, 2 more. So Zealand George gets 3rd and is a regional qualifier in diving. And then we go to the girls, and all of these are regional qualifiers. So let me start with this. All of our relays went because we had 4, so all of our relays are going to regionals. And regionals is held, guess where?
Right there at the Aquatic Center?
Right there at the Southwest
Right
ISD Aquatic Center. Yes, sir. We are hosting the region, I think it's Region 7 state regionals for them. And we're also hosting the 4A regional meet this week, too. So all of our relays qualified. Zealand qualified. And the Southwest Legacy girls, we had in the 200 free, Madeline Trong Him got third.
Spell that name for me real quick.
Yeah.
Trong Him.
This guy.
Go
this
for
guy.
it.
You
I
tried
know. I
first.
couldn't. Unless you're talking to a,
TRUONG, sir.
I would have got
dash
it.
HIM.
Because you know why? I'm a 4th grade spelling bee champion. You're talking to a champion of
Right, a
champions over
champion,
here.
yeah. Give me the origin, please.
Yeah, please. Yeah.
All right. So, fifth in the 100 fly, 5th place was Cassandra Pena Aparicio, and in the 500 free, 6th place was Victoria Campos. With the Southwest girls in the 200 intermediate medley, what do you think's in the medley, sir? Do you know what's in the medley?
Listen.
It's not a food product.
No, I know that. Yeah, because that's where the mine went first,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
But I would assume this isn't like a freestyle thing, right? So this is
I mean, maybe.
Right, so-
I'm interested.
is there 3 different types of? Because this is a swimming medley. So
Well, this is 100. This is 200 IM. So I want you to first.
no,
there's
not
lengths of pools.
Listen, I'm a communications major. Let's not start talking maths, right? I mean, for me, I was called the Michael Phelps of my generation, but I think as a swimmer
with
myself,
floaties.
with or without, but I think more times with. But I as far as the medley goes, I'm interested to hear what this entails because I myself.
So I don't.
I'm telling you
really-
now, I'll set the. We could have a race for the podcast in
Oh,
the medley.
Let's go.
Is what I'm saying.
We're gonna need some lifeguards.
We're gonna need some lifeguards for sure.
Well, for you, I'll be
Yeah.
all right.
No, okay.
So it starts with the. I don't know the exact.
Butterfly.
There's 4, right? There's 4. All 4 strokes.
Yep.
So you have the fly, and then I think
Breaststroke?
it's the breaststroke, but
Yep.
it might actually be backstroke, and then breaststroke, and then the free.
No way you got that right. No chance you got that right.
Those are
There's
4.
not- yeah, but
I
there's
don't
not,
know.
Not
I
in that
know.
order.
I know that
The middle ones
fly.
might be flipped.
I know the fly and the free are the bookends.
Okay.
The middle 2, it's a
So
little bit of
breast
this,
or
a little bit
back,
of that.
one of those.
But I'm pretty sure it's fly, back, breast, free.
Gotcha.
Because they're 2 different types. Anyway, so
you
she
learn
got-
something every day, people. You learn something every day.
200 IM, Nia Roddifer. All of that to say Nia Roddifer made it to regionals in the 200 IM. Hannah McCosker got 6th in the 100 back for the Southwest girls, and she's
Nice.
going. For the Legacy boys, you had Daniel Espino, and he got 5th in the 200 free. Brandon Moreno, your 200 IM. Brandon and where'd you go? And Nia, Brandon said he wants to race you, so we're gonna get Brandon in the
Wow.
pool, and he said he's gonna put on his Speedo, and we're gonna roll.
100%.
Not the Speedo. I mean, like the
Oh,
actual,
okay.
like the longer shorts.
Got you. Long
Nobody's
johns.
interested in anybody in
I
a
got-
Speedo.
I'm
like
ready.
no. All right. So yeah, that's on. Let's go. All right. So Brandon Moreno got
Winner,
third in the 200
winner keeps
IM.
the name. Loser has to change the name.
Oh, there you go. Interesting.
For the Brandons. There
so,
you go.
hey, so we're gonna call you Brett.
Yeah,
for
that's
Brett
what it's gonna-
Favre.
yeah,
that's gonna be your new name. All right, there we go. All right, Samuel Espino got 100 in the 100 breast. I got 100 in the 100 breast. He got 6th in the 100 breast. And then Southwest High School boys, you had Sebastian Solis got 6th in the 200 free. And then we had 2 divers go to regionals from Southwest High School. Aiden Diaz, who also has an outside chance of going to state. He's in the top 4, and they take 3. So Aiden Diaz got 2nd in diving, and Jesus Romo got 4th in diving. And then in the 100 fly, Matthew Medrano got 3rd. In the 100 free, Bryson Crisp got 6th. In the 500 free, the 500 free is like the mile.
Goodness gracious.
500 free, that's 10 laps.
Oh, my gosh.
That'll be your next race.
That's intense.
That's your next
no
race.
way.
And you don't get to put like a motor.
No,
or
yeah,
anything
there's
like
nothing
that.
like
No.
that. Yeah.
All right. Sebastian Solis got 6th in the 500 free, and then Tristan Quintanilla got 6th in the 100 back and stuff. And finally, great coaches, new coaches with the new Aquatic Center and stuff. We had Megan Ashu as our diving coach was named Coach of the Year
Awesome.
for the district.
Congratulations.
And then David Moore, the Southwest High School coach, was named Girls Coach of the Year and tied for Boys Coach of the Year.
Wow.
How about them apples?
Congratulations to both coaches. Congratulations to all the ex-student athletes. The one thing you can definitely cement as far as legacy is, since this was the first of its kind at the Aquatic Center, you've just set records. You are the
When
records.
you go in there,
the record holders right now.
Yeah.
From now on,
Yeah. It's
you
yours.
set the tone.
Yes.
When they look back at the record books and say, who was the first to swim at this time or the first to dive. Your names are in the record books now forever.
Exactly.
Southwest
Forever.
ISD alum now.
Amen.
Legends.
Yep. Unlike you.
Listen, you don't got a brick, but you're legends. You know?
Yeah. You don't get a brick. All right.
What's next?
Let's go. Let's talk some middle school. We always talk about the high school, but we got people in the middle school that did some phenomenal stuff this week.
I really wish people could see the booklet that you're handling for all these names. You physically wrote all these down. That shows character right there.
You gotta take care of things, man. And I can't remember all this.
I know that's a lot. That's a lot.
There's a lot of spreadsheets.
So what do we got next?
All right, we're gonna talk. So this was the end of our our second season of middle school athletics. So
Okay.
the boys just got done playing basketball and heading to soccer. And the girls just got done playing soccer and heading to basketball. So how we always end with our big conference tournament. So let's set that up kind of like the Warrior stuff, but a lot faster, right? So our teams play in the Big 22 conference, ran by Trainer Henson, basically. She's the czar of the Big 22 conference.
Okay.
The 22 teams, I'm not going to list them, but they are from Edgewood ISD, South San ISD, Somerset, Medina Valley ISD, Hour 4, Pleasanton, Floresville, Harlandale, and Southside.
Gotcha.
We got 9 school districts in this bad boy.
Gotcha.
Okay, and so there's 22 teams in there. We compete in zones throughout the year, and then we break off into the top 2 teams of those go into a tournament.
Okay.
So we have a gold bracket and we have a silver bracket. So the bottom teams go into that other bracket, right? So here's how all of this went down, because we did really well in a few areas.
Okay.
Shout outs to a few things. Zone champions. So these are the ones that our zone is our 4 middle schools against Harlandale's 4 middle schools.
Okay.
Okay. So zone champions in boys basketball. 8th grade A, Scobie. Check this out. 8th grade A, Scobie. 8th grade B, Scobie. 7th grade A, Scobie.
Man.
Scobie just missed the sweep
Dang.
and stuff. So they did that.
It's those big country
basketball.
courts. That's what it is.
Oh,
Those
yeah.
days.
It's like Rucker Park.
You got to
man.
grind it
Yeah,
out. You got to grind it out there.
You better be able to roll, right?
That's what I'm talking
so
about.
shout out to Coach Fisher and Coach Young, who've been there since basically the first house was ever built on the far side of Marbach.
Yeah.
I think they were there when that groundbreaking and stuff when they finished it off to before when 1604 was still a dirt road.
Yep.
And stuff. So
way before QT and Waterbury.
way before QT and Waterbury.
Way before those days.
All right. So tournament action. Here's some results from the tournament action. The 8th grade A, the Resnick boys lost in the semis in the gold bracket.
Okay.
And then Scobie got upset in the first round as the number 1 seed in the gold bracket, the Scobie A team. But much love to them because the Scobie B team, they were gold bracket champions.
Nice.
And stuff. And then in 7th grade, the 7th grade A team, 7th grade boys from Scobie, gold bracket champions.
Nice.
And stuff. And then the 7th grade B team from McNair lost in the finals of the gold bracket in the 7th grade B and the 7th grade B. 8th grade A, McNair lost in the finals in the silver bracket, and 7th grade A, McNair lost in the silver bracket in the championship game. Or I'm sorry, they were 7th grade silver bracket champions.
Gotcha.
McNair was. So big things in basketball.
Lots of representation though throughout.
Yeah, but shout out. I mean, the 7th grade 18 boys won the zone championship and turned around and won the
championship.
and then won the tournament championship as well.
Man.
And stuff. So that's big time and stuff. So shout out to their coaches in that 7th grade A team were Coach Fisher and Coach Young. So, girls soccer zone champions, 8th grade McAuliffe, and then Scobie and McNair tied for the championship in 7th grade girls soccer and stuff. So big shout out to them.
Nice.
And then in the 8th grade in the tournaments, 8th grade we don't have A's and B teams, so it's just one. So the 8th grade team from McAuliffe lost in the semis to Loma Alta in the gold bracket. McNair lost to La Soya in the semis in the silver bracket in 8th grade. In 7th grade, Scobie and McAuliffe both lost in the semis in the gold bracket in 7th grade. So they're right there, and we lost the 2 Medina Valley schools, which we'll get that figured out.
Alrighty.
And stuff. And then 7th grade, Resnick lost in the semis to Pleasanton in the silver bracket and stuff.
Okay.
So that's the main stuff. I got one happy note, and then we can talk about just the if you want whatever else you want to talk
Okay,
about
go
today.
for it.
If
Go
you want
for
to just start rattling off names, like
Yeah.
you can do that too and stuff. I want to give a big shout out to the Texas High School Coaches Association. We talked about this last week. Marcus Rutledge, we were passing the hat to do some to raise money for Marcus. He was an 8th grade athlete at McAuliffe, played football and basketball and stuff, and we all know about that kind of, and we talked about it. But I talked to the president of the Texas High School Coaches Association and understand the Texas High School Coaches Association made up about 24,000 coaches throughout the state of Texas.
Wow.
And we have what we call a benevolence fund that we all donate to, that all coaches in the state donate to for things like what happened to Marcus. So I was able to, Coach Franco had a great idea, and when we were talking as a team what we can do to help out, and Coach Franco was like, well, we need to call THSCA and see about the benevolence fund. I was like, okay. So I called Coach Martin, who's the president, and he got back to me. And so tomorrow afternoon at Rocket Fest, right before the Penguin Project, we're going to give Marcus's mom and dad a $3,000 check.
That's awesome.
From the Texas High School Coaches Association for to help them with the struggles that hopefully are on the road to recovery. So big shout out to our coaches, all of our coaches, and then the Texas High School Coaches Association for that. So wanted to shout out that, and the naming is done. So.
Alrighty, sir. Alrighty. Well,
But
yeah.
a big time shout out to those kids.
No, absolutely. Shout out to all the kids in middle school, all of our student athletes here in high school, every coach that has touched student lives at the middle school level and the high school level, and even down to the elementary level. I do want to, before we get out of here, again reiterate that Rocket Fest is going to be Friday, January 27th from 5 to 7 p.m. over at McAuliffe. Do not miss. It's going to be an incredible time, and it's going to an incredible fundraiser, and so we definitely want you to be there. There's going to be a lot of information booths. There's going to be some fun food booths. There's going to be, I believe, some music as well. It's going to be a really good time over there at McAuliffe, and it's for a good cause. And then we also have our Penguin Project, January 27th as well. It's going to be a production of Annie with our life skills students. It's going to be the first of its kind in the city and one of the first in the state, and so it's a huge performance. 2 big things happening there. Again, huge recognitions to all of our coaches and players. That's going to go ahead and do it for us.
Hey, good luck to softball and baseball.
Yes.
Because that's starting too.
Softball,
and track. Spring is
baseball,
on its way.
And we want to
Tennis,
send
golf.
good luck to basketball and soccer, as soccer's going to be starting in district as well. So a lot of games coming up that matter a lot.
This is the biggest time in athletics right now. They're all going on right in the next couple of weeks. It's on like Donkey Kong.
Here we go. We're going to be here to bring you all the news and updates every single week. Thank you for joining us again. This is Scoreboard for Peter Wagner. I am Brandon Medina, and like we always say, we are
Southwest.
3, 2,